Hey guys, it is September 30th. Wow. 2020 at 1:22 in the afternoon. I guess it's the end of September. I'm feeling a lot better than I was on that last video I posted. Thank goodness. I seem to have leveled out a little bit as far as my chronic mental health stuff goes. Who knows about tomorrow? But today is all right, so I'll take it. I've had a pretty good work day so far. I work each morning during the week between the hours of 10 and noon. I work online in this writing group with my friends. I've mentioned it before. And I managed to do an hour of writing before that group on my romance novel. And then I went to the group and I did 2,000 words on the next Mr. Poe. And Mr. Poe is going really well. I think I'm about halfway through it. And these are short, they're novelettes, which is like maybe a quarter of the length of, maybe even like 20% of the length of a normal book. And that is sort of why I have spent more time writing those this year, even though they don't represent the bulk of my backlist. I mean, novelettes in general, I typically publish longer books, but my mental focus and all of the stuff that I need in order to get through an entire book right now is not easily accessible to me. So being able to get shorter projects done in a reasonable time frame is very empowering. It's very good for morale. And plus, I just really like writing Mr. Poe. I really love how much everybody has taken to Mr. Poe. I get so much good feedback about him. In case you haven't read those yet, those are my psychic cat mysteries. So it's just kind of these silly stories about a cat who swallows a magical artifact, and then he starts solving mysteries in a small town because it imbues him with the ability to shapeshift into a human and to, have psychic powers and stuff. And they're really cute. And everybody likes how cute they are. I think I'm not the only person who needs books that are easy right now. Once I have this one finished, that will be essentially a good sized novel between all 5 of the stories. So I'm going to collect them all into one collection so that people can just breeze right through them. My series are all very bingeable, no matter how long the individual books are. The Ascension series is 8 books, and I think the shortest of those is maybe 60,000 words, and that's the last book. That was the Second Coming, and that was sort of a special epilogue in a way. The other books are way longer. They go up to like 120-something thousand words. And even when people are going through those, I'm always told they're too short. I take it as a good sign because it means people really wanted my books to go on and on and on. And no matter what length I'm writing at, they read very speedily, very smoothly. So I think people are going to really enjoy the binge on this one. I'm thinking for the next one, I might actually move over to actual full-length novels for Mr. Poe, just because everybody is enjoying them so much. And I think I could write a 40 to 50,000 word book about him without getting too overwhelmed. So I might do that. I'm thinking about it. The next Descent verse novel I'm going to do after this one might actually be the third and final Shatter Cage book, Rise of Heroes. I released Reign of Monsters, the second one, earlier this year. And those are also more fun. Those books are, the main character is very silly. And he doesn't get traumatized the way that some of my other characters do. I have this mental spectrum of angstiness in my head for how much my characters get traumatized by events. Similar things kind of happen to all of the characters since they exist in the same world. Like people die no matter what. People get bitten by vampires and turn into werewolves and thrown into prison by the evil Office of Preternatural Affairs. Everybody is going through that stuff, but how well people cope with it and how much their trauma impacts them in the narrative is on a spectrum. So Cage is on the far end of the, like, nothing traumatizes him spectrum. He's just, like, super happy-go-lucky, easygoing. And even though the end of the second book was sadder, for reasons that I'll explain more in the third book, he's handling the sadness really well. Mr. Poe doesn't get traumatized at all because he's a total sociopath of a cat. And then if you go up the line a little bit, you get to, like, Cesar Hawk. Cesar is someone who doesn't really get super traumatized. He goes through stuff, and his books do have a darker tone, but they're still fairly good on levity. And then when you move along to the other side, you'll get characters like James, where he gets traumatized and he gets really angsty, manipulative, cruel. There's an entire series, a couple series actually, about managing James's reactions to that trauma. And so he's on the far end of the angst. He's like maximum man pain, whereas Mr. Poe is like no man pain, he's a cat. And so Lincoln is on the higher end of the man pain scale as well. And Lincoln, that's another series I have to finish. I really want to start wrapping up my ongoing series so that I can do the next big one. I meant to get into the Oracles of 4th Street this year. That was my plan. I was actually going to get into it at the end of last year. But the end of last year I got stymied on it for more personal reasons. That was kind of leading into, and I had to go to what I fondly call eating disorder school. I was really battling my eating disorder at the end of last year and into the beginning of this year. And so I had to kind of say, like, okay, I cannot work on these super emotionally difficult, traumatic books while I'm in this state. It's not good for me. And I'm still kind of in a place where I don't think I should be dwelling that much on that really angsty stuff. But I do want to finish Lincoln. I'm just going to do Cage first and wrap up Cage's trilogy. There can only be 3 of those books for a reason that's very silly. The covers, I bought them secondhand from a friend, okay? I have a wonderful friend who she had hired out a really talented and expensive artist to make these covers, and then she decided to cancel that series for personal and professional reasons. But she'd spent all the money on them, and so she asked if anybody might want to buy them for a discount so she could help recoup some of that, and I was just like, heck yeah, give me these pretty covers. I designed Bridget, Cage, and Vex based upon the art, but there were only 3 covers that were included in that sale, so I can't put Cage on any more covers because I'm not going to have access to that model again. I can't afford the artist, honestly, and I don't think I would choose to. So Cage gets a trilogy, and that's it. That's not to say he won't show up again. It's just if I do something else with him, it'll probably be in a different series. Since all my characters overlap and cross over, I have some ideas where Cage might show up again, but for now, it's going to be a trilogy, and it's going to stop there simply because I don't have any other way to package more books. But I had a really contained plot in mind for these 3 books in the first place, so that story is going to be done. And if you've followed my career for any length of time, you've probably noticed that I tell a specific story and then stop. There are authors out there who publish series that are 15, 20, 25 books long. There's one author on Kindle, and they have a vampire series that's like over 90 books long now. And no judgment there, or like readers are still picking them up, so I think readers love it. It's just not how I do things. I really tell contained stories. So that's where I am. I'm about halfway done with Mr. Poe. Then I'm probably going to do Cage. And then I'll do the next Lincoln. I think Lincoln's going to have 2 more books. As for my romance novel, we are not on speaking terms. I'm so close to the end, and it's infuriating because I've been so close to the end for like a month. And it's really evidence of how difficult it has been for me to handle the plot and characters and whatnot across an entire novel-length piece of fiction. It doesn't help that I'm still very new to romance. I've written almost 100 urban fantasy novels throughout my life at this point, and I just know what I'm doing with those. And I deliberately took a break from them, not just because of the intensity of the subject matter, but because I felt like I wasn't going to become a better writer overall if I just kept writing the same thing over and over. So I knew this one was going to be harder, but I'm just so frustrated. I guess I am still developing methodologies and coping techniques. And so this book is going to be almost done for God knows how long. I am going to make another sincere attempt to finish it after Mr. Poe, because I still want to take a break for like a whole week once I have Mr. Poe and my romance novel done. And I was really hoping it would be like next week, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I really want to get these done, cleared off, done, so I can just take it off my mind and relax. I could really use it. I think we all could. I hope that you're coping. I'm recording this video the day after the US presidential debate. I didn't watch it, and I'm still not okay about it. What stress. It's so much stress. National politics are so stressful. So I'm not worrying about that too much, because it's a great way to go crazy. Crazier than I already am. So I hope that you are taking care of yourself and doing the best you can to manage your stress, just like me. I hope you have a good day. And if today isn't good for you, I hope tomorrow is good. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye.